Hello and welcome to Top 10. Prepare to have your mind twisted, blown, and reassembled in ways you didn't know were possible. Today, we're diving headfirst into a realm where logic crumbles and the impossible becomes reality. Paradoxes. These are the questions and puzzles that have left philosophers, scientists, and thinkers baffled for centuries. Sit tight as we unveil the top 10 paradoxes no one can solve. What is a paradox anyway? Before we get into the list, let's break it down. A paradox is a situation, statement, or concept that contradicts itself or defies common sense, often revealing deep truths or unsolvable mysteries. They stretch our understanding of logic, time, and reality. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew. The grandfather paradox. Let's kick things off with one of the most famous paradoxes of all, the grandfather paradox. Imagine you invent a time machine and travel back to meet your grandfather before he has children. If you accidentally or intentionally prevent him from meeting your grandmother, he'll never have kids, which means you'll never exist. But if you never existed, how could you have traveled back in time in the first place? It's a never-ending loop of impossibility that highlights the challenges of time travel. Scientists and philosophers have used this paradox to explore the theoretical mechanics of time travel. And while some propose alternate timelines as a solution, no one has definitively solved this mindbender. The ship of Theseus. Next up is an ancient philosophical puzzle that's as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. The ship of Theseus asks, if you replace every plank, sail, and nail of a ship over time, is it still the same ship? And if not, at what point does it stop being the original? This question extends beyond ships. It applies to everything, including us. The cells in your body regenerate every 7 to 10 years, meaning you're physically not the same person you were a decade ago. So are you still you? This paradox challenges how we define identity and continuity. The barber paradox. This one is deceptively simple but absolutely maddening. In a small town, a barber shaves all those who do not shave themselves. The question is, who shaves the barber? If the barber shaves himself, he's breaking his own rule, but if he doesn't, he still has to be shaved. It's an unsolvable loop that highlights the limitations of self-referential logic. Interestingly, this paradox was used by mathematician Bertrand Russell to explain a fundamental problem in set theory, a branch of mathematics. It's not just a brain teaser, it has real implications in the world of logic and mathematics. The omnipotence paradox. This one has fueled debates about the nature of God and omnipotence for centuries. It goes like this. Can an all-powerful being create a rock so heavy that even they cannot lift it? If they can, they aren't all-powerful because they can't lift the rock. If they can't, then they aren't all-powerful because they can't create the rock. This paradox forces us to confront the limits of the concept of omnipotence. It's less about religion and more about the logical contradictions that arise when we try to define ultimate power. The liar paradox. Here's a classic for you. This statement is false. Wait a second. If the statement is true, then it's false. But if it's false, then it must be true. It's an infinite loop that breaks the rules of language and logic. The liar paradox has fascinated philosophers for centuries and is a prime example of how language can sometimes turn against itself. Modern logicians use it to study the foundations of truth and semantics, but the paradox remains unsolved. Zeno's paradoxes. The Greek philosopher Zeno gave us several paradoxes about motion, but the most famous involves Achilles and a tortoise. Imagine a race where Achilles gives the tortoise a head start. According to Zeno, Achilles can never catch up because by the time he reaches the tortoise's starting point, the tortoise has moved slightly ahead. While modern mathematics and calculus can address Zeno's paradoxes, they still raise fascinating questions about the nature of infinity, time, and motion. The bootstrap paradox. This one's straight out of a sci-fi movie. Suppose you travel back in time and give a scientist the plans for a time machine. The scientist builds it, and it eventually falls into your hands. But who actually invented the time machine? This paradox messes with our understanding of cause and effect, questioning whether something can exist without a clear origin. It's a favorite in time travel fiction, from Doctor Who to Back to the Future. The infinite hotel paradox. Imagine a hotel with an infinite number of rooms, all of which are occupied. A new guest arrives. How do you make room for them? Simple. Move each guest to the next room, leaving room 1 free. But what if an infinite busload of guests arrives? Infinity doesn't behave the way we think it should. And this paradox highlights the bizarre properties of infinite sets. The chicken or the egg, the age-old question. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Without a chicken, there's no egg, but without an egg, there's no chicken. While evolutionary biology might lean toward the egg as the answer, the philosophical debate continues. The paradox of choice. In today's world, having endless options might seem like a good thing, but studies show that too many choices can lead to decision paralysis and dissatisfaction. This paradox challenges the idea that more freedom and more options always lead to better outcomes. Wrapping it all up, paradoxes are a window into the complexities of reality, challenging our assumptions and pushing the boundaries of our understanding. Which of these paradoxes blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unsolvable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Top 10, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.